Welcome back to Raven's Fandom Rewind, where I dissect pop culture faster than Q can say, "Don't touch that, Bond." Today, we're diving into the world of spy glam and absurd gadgetry with none other than the cornerstone of action films, James Bond. Let's start with the one thing no one questioned growing up, but should have: Bond's gadgets. Born in the 1960s as glorified plot patches, these gadgets evolved into lovably ludicrous contraptions by the Pierce Brosnan era. Remember the invisible car from 2002's Die Another Day? Invisible. A car that could stealth itself in the middle of Iceland. Handy? Sure. Plausible? I'll file that under hot takes nobody asked for. And Bond's watches? Let's all collectively fawn over his Omega Seamaster, which conveniently has as many hidden features as a Russian nesting doll. Lasers, grappling hooks, remote detonators, because, let's be honest, why settle for just telling time when you could save the world every time you check the hour? Speaking of plots, can we pause to recognize how these gadgets single-handedly save MI6's budget cuts on plot development? Bond faces an iceberg armed with a button for Acme rocket launch, and, surprise, instant resolution. It's basically Deus Ex Machina, but make it snazzy. But here's where it gets better. Did you know some of Bond's Wild Gear inspired real-world spooks? Fun fact, during the Cold War, Q branch wannabes from the CIA actually tried making rocket-propelled nets and even lipsticks guns. Yikes, can you imagine the testing phase for that? Yet, underneath all the hyperbole, don't you just admire Bond's sheer swagger as he nonchalantly pulls out a gadget? He could strut off a cliff, and you'd believe the parachute tied into his intern's old stapler-grade experiment would save him. And it still works as an action set piece. Let's not forget the not-so-great contributions. Anyone here recall the crocodile submarine? Or that Snapchat-level ring camera in Thunderball? Watching the villains hesitate as Bond deploys these experimental props feels somehow fair. Like, hold on, is that a robot crocodile or the real deal? Time to process that one. Ultimately, aren't Bond's gadgets part of the guilty fun of these films, even at their most absurd? They're as much about tact as the sarcasm our tuck-suited protagonist wears better than Aston Martin optional spoilers. Another fandom kissed goodbye. Purely Bond-oozing fan rewind where reflecting juxtaposition awesomely reflect Aero Grant white paths, gimmicky meets timeless stored bard, side word zeal, casino duplicity, Ishinal Strayangly authenticity, ammo sessions deliriums, Kangronane in contemplates gadget goo over musing, Cullis playfully, Mockage run scathing mid-derated Diadrangiorchus naring logical gallantly transport zesty yet metaphoric mock herm blending, cheval tree, Xes typical aspiring,